What did you eat today?
I don't know. You're like, whoa, that's picking up too much.
It is Grammy season and you're hanging out with Billboard, Petras, and Cirkut. I feel like we got a strong name game
right?
on there, bro. Tetris and Cirkut kicking it. So
Should be a duo.
You know what? I'm gonna get into music producing. How about that?
Let's do it.
So tell me, where did Cirkut? Before we even talk about the music, the nominations, I want to know about the name.
As a young teenager, I started off DJing. I was a DJ. I was DJ Cirkut. I kind of gave myself the name. I was really into like hip hop and scratching and vinyl and kind of making beats, and so I kind of just gave myself the name, really. I don't have any cool story where like someone bestowed the name upon me. I kind of just gave myself.
This works.
Yeah, all the DJs had cool names, and I was like, I need my name, so DJ Cirkut. And then once I kind of moved out of DJing and more into producing, I just dropped the DJ and kept the Cirkut, and here we are. So.
Hey, listen, it's working for you, and you're having an incredible year. I mean, let's talk about these Grammy nominations. Producer of the Year, which mind-blowing, non-classical. Album of the Year for Mayhem with Lady Gaga. Record of the Year, Abracadabra and APT with Rosé. Song of the Year, Abracadabra, APT, and of course, Best Dance Pop Recording for Abracadabra. When they read those, when that all came to you, how do you accept being nominated for 5 Grammys with those massive songs?
It's been, a while since the nominations, since the announcement happened, and still to this day as I'm sitting here, I'm still like, I'm so overwhelmed by it. A lot of different emotions come to mind. I'm just very, proud, but I'm thankful, I'm grateful. I'm like, I think it's incredible. I get to make music for a living. I get to be in these rooms with these incredible artists and songwriters, and that that people even want to work with me, so like, I just feel so grateful, and to have my work recognized, and it's a celebration of music and of the work we put into these things, so it feels amazing.
I mean, they definitely love working with you, and it's so interesting you talk about like how you take the information in. I was chatting with Rosé, and she was talking about what this means for her as a Korean pop artist, and the bigness of this nomination. So, do you take any of that into consideration when you look at these nominations?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I guess I would consider APT. I mean, it's kind of a hybrid American and K-pop song, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, it raises the profile of K-pop music, and I think it's had an impact in that sense, for sure.
Yeah, and you definitely are part of that, because you think, BTS has had Grammy nominations, but there hasn't really been a big 4 nomination for a K-pop song, so I really think it's looking at the future there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a big deal. I'm proud to have been part of that, for sure.
And when you think about those 2 songs, APT, Abracadabra, working on Mayhem, what's a story time you can tell me? What's an interesting tidbit from creating these masterpieces?
APT, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's been said before, but I mean, just the way in which we came up with the song, it was very spontaneous. Sometimes there's a lot of thought put into things, and this is gonna be a hit, but we were just having fun in the studio, and Rosie was just showing someone, hey, this is a drinking game we play in Korea, and some of us perked up, like, what is that? That's not a song? That should be a song, right? We're gonna make that song now, so that doesn't happen all the time in the studio,
Did you guys play, because I don't even think I know, how the game is. Did you play APT?
I've never actually played APT.
I've never actually even know what the game is like.
Yeah, I've never played it myself, no.
We need to learn, we need to call Rosie and get the rules so we can play APT.
Abracadabra Mayhem, I mean, that was also kind of a spontaneous moment, we were in the middle of creating the album, and I played this beat I had started, just sort of a really rough snippet, and I thought, let me see what the room thinks kind of thing, and I played it, and they were like, what is this? This is crazy, we gotta work on this, and just goes to show, these things happen so spontaneously sometimes, and it might not be thought out or planned. And of course, we worked on it more painstakingly after that, it was not just that, but sometimes these little moments of inspiration can create something that, goes all the way.
You're talking about the painstaking process of recording, and I can imagine being with someone as creative as Lady Gaga and how intense she can be about her art. How did she come to you with the concept? Where did Abracadabra come from, and How do you go, you know what, yeah, let's make a song?
I guess every song on the album was a bit different. I think with Abracadabra it started with, some type of sonic instrumental inspiration, like the beat that I'd started, and then me and Watt worked on it. He added chords to it and fleshed out the different sections of the song. Really, Gaga, she just went in on the mic and started freestyling melodies over the instrumental, basically.
That's insane.
And she started kind of mumbling. A lot of the times it's melodies with mumble lyrics. It's not really like fully, there's no concept yet or lyrics, but she started doing something like, as it kept going, she started saying abracadabra, and we're like, wait, that's really cool, or is this really weird, or is it good, or I think it's good, yeah. When it first comes out, you're not sure, this is cool, right? Yeah, this is, so she really just, I don't know where it came from, but it came from somewhere deep within her soul. She heard
she's a genius.
She's incredible, yeah.
Do you take a different approach in the studio when you're working with someone like a Lady Gaga, who's obviously been doing this for decades, is such a legend in the game, and then Rosé, who's also been in the industry a while, but is newer. So is that a different approach that you take to working with artists that way?
I guess with Rosé, she was pretty, she wanted to do something, I wanted to do something new for her, that maybe hadn't been done before, and I think APT, she doesn't have any other song like APT for sure, so there was sort of a blank slate kind of thing where we got to just experiment, and she got to tell us what she wanted to do, and we got to do that. With Gaga, yeah, she has so much, such a discography, such a body of work that you kind of don't want to reference because you don't want to do the same thing over again, but you can't help but ignore it because she's had all this incredible career and these incredible songs that you want to somewhat touch on those touchstones of this sounds like Gaga, but also we want to make it new too. So it's different, it's different with every artist you work with for sure.
These are your big nominations, but I'm sure you've worked on some other stuff this year that you're like, oh, that was sick. I wish this had got a Grammy nom. So what are some of those songs that you feel like you were really proud of from your recent work?
I loved working with Ed Sheeran. It was our we had worked over the past few years a little bit here and there. Did a few songs that made it on his album, and I really loved working with him. I look forward to digging deeper, hopefully, in the future with him. An incredible artist, great person. Kept me on my toes. He works so fast. He's 20 minutes a song, okay, next song. He just cranks out, some people have writer's block, he has the opposite. He's just ideas flowing out of him,
And do you have a favorite genre, or do you just kind of meet with an artist and you're like, I'm gonna vibe with them and see if we can create some magic?
Maybe there's areas in which I excel more, maybe with dance pop music, Mayhem, I felt the way it turned out, as it became more obvious, okay, this is something I can really sink my teeth into and really do what I do best on this. Whereas some other stuff I might not do as much, I might not do as much R&B music, for example. I like to be a versatile producer, not just do the same thing over and over again. So sometimes I like to challenge myself and be like, all right, I'm gonna go in here and make a country record today. I'm gonna make this, just try it out. Because also doing the same thing again and again can get boring too. So maybe it's selfishly, I just want to mix it up,
Yeah, I feel like genres are mixing together so much now
That's
in general. Everybody's kind of crossing those boundaries, especially people like Gaga.
Yeah.
With this being Grammy season, I just want to talk to you, do you have any Grammy experiences or things that stick out to you? Like you say, a favorite Grammy speech or performance that makes you think about this award show?
I've been to the Grammys twice now, maybe. My first nomination was I worked on, I co-produced and co-wrote Katy Perry's song Roar. And a funny moment from that was when it was nominated for Song of the Year. And I remember sitting there and they were reading out, and the award goes to Royals. It was a Lord Royal.
And the Grammy goes to Royals!
Royals is a great song. I was happy that I wasn't
Shout out to Lord.
I wasn't not unhappy, but it was just it was like a tease, a funny little moment.
That's crazy.
Yeah, then I got to enjoy celebrating. I won a Grammy for The Weeknd's album Starboy, which was a great honor, and I'm just looking forward to being there and celebrating music and just being with some of my people who I work with and celebrating the work we did and just celebrating music, and it's a great vibe.
Do you ever get to be a part of any of these artists performances or be on stage with them yet? Because I know you DJ'd as well, so I'm do you ever get to be up there?
Yeah. Not really up there, but maybe still behind the scenes. I did a little bit of work on Gaga's on the Mayhem tour on some of the, I did some sort of remix work and transitions between songs, and like for her Coachella performance and for her main stadium show. That was really cool to be involved in, but yeah, haven't got me on stage yet. Maybe we'll see.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get up there, man. And then, talking about kind of the future of the Grammys, obviously this is a conversation that's very big in our industry right now, talking about AI.
Yes.
So how do you feel about like producers and AI and where the industry is headed kind of in that lane?
I'm still honestly, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think I've seen it. It's all about the context and the intention from which you're using it. I think it's, if you go into it saying like, I can use this and now I don't have to pay for this and I can do, if you're coming into it from like give me this, I want this to create me so I can be more, then I think that's maybe not the right intention, but maybe I've seen it used in some really creative ways. I would say that's a really cool use of AI. I mean, I think it depends on the intention behind it, and how creatively it's done. I mean, I've used it sometimes to experiment, and I decided, nah, I'm not going to use it. I don't like that. I couldn't justify it. I was like, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting my name on something like that I didn't really create. Whereas other times, if I did something really cool and manipulated it and kind of made it my own, then I might feel, this is warranted. So I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I don't have a really cut and dry answer. I mean, I think it's going to evolve and it's here to stay, and it's all about the human to turn it into something cool, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about it from a producer standpoint that is more of like, I would say using it as a tool, right? Yeah. But then you can think about it as well from the artist point of view, because there's artists like, Zanaya Monet, and like people are talking about like, where are these artists going to end up on the charts? And I mean, would they end up at the Grammys? Like that's the kind of conversation we have to start like looking forward to having. And how do you feel about AI artists, and could they be Grammy nominated?
I'm not sure about that yet. I'm not sure. I'd have to wrap my head around that one. I don't know, because the artist is what is the artist really? There's a team of people behind it, of course, and like, you could say that their work, they might be doing good work, whereas the real person is not a real person, so who are we really celebrating? I don't know. I might have to get back to you on that one.
It's a new frontier, my
I don't
friend.
know. AI artists being nominated, I'm not sure about that yet.
We're going to play a game called This or That.
Yeah.
And just as we do it, I'll name 2 songs. You kind of tell me which one you might prefer.
Okay. I gotta pick favorites.
And then we'll talk about them a little bit. Okay. When I tell you, there's some songs on this list I'm so obsessed with. I'm so excited to talk to you about this. Okay, so Poppy by Britney Spears or High for This by The Weeknd.
Papa, Papa, Poppy, Poppy.
Those 2 songs happened in the same kind of time period.
Really? Oh yeah, you're
right. But they're two very different songs. I'd have to go with High for This by The Weeknd on that one. Poppy holds a special place in my heart because it was one of my first placements with a major artist ever. High for This, I just feel like that was just kind of the genesis of like The Weeknd. And Abel at that time, he was unknown. He didn't do any interviews. No one really knew who he was. The mystery behind that was really cool. The rest of the music being created at the time it just sort of created the foundation of what he is now. And I'm just happy to have been a small part of that, doing that song.
Okay, solid choice there. Yeah. I won't. We'll talk more about Britney later. I'll say that. But okay, High for This or Where Have You Been by Rihanna?
Ooh, okay.
A banger?
You got me picking favorites here. Huh? This is tough. I mean, Where Have You Been? Seeing her perform at the Super Bowl, that kind of reignited it for me. Man. I was like, wait, I forgot I did that song. Like, this is crazy, Rihanna, maybe I'm gonna have to go with that then, yeah.
Okay. Again, nothing but hits here. Where Have You Been by Rihanna or Part of Me by Katy Perry?
Part of Me was a special moment because I think that was the first time I'd ever worked with Katy Perry. And
really?
Yeah.
Because that was coming off of Teenage Dream, that album, and that was the like deluxe and the 5 number ones. So that was a big moment to jump in on.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a special moment that was like kind of a milestone for me, and then that led to more work we did. Roar and Dark Horse and Wide Awake and all those other songs. I can't say which song is better. I don't know. It could depend on the day. Like one day I might like one song more than the other, but.
Because now I want to ask you this, which is actually pretty good. Part of Me by Katy Perry or Wide Awake by Katy Perry?
Okay, song-wise, Wide Awake. I love Wide Awake.
I'm wide awake.
I love that song. And I remember us making it. We were up all night making it. We had to finish it in time for her. I think she put out a documentary at the time, and it wasn't like we kind of need this finished. It was like, we actually need this finished by like noon tomorrow kind of thing. And we definitely pulled an all-nighter. Haven't done one of those in a while. And we were literally wide awake, you know. And
That's such a beautiful song.
I love that song. I really do.
I Don't Mind by Usher.
I don't mind.
Tell me about that song, because what a bop, bro.
Yeah.
Like, Juicy J's verse on that is insane
Yeah,
as well. It's
yeah.
so good. So talk to me about creating that song.
That was just, it was fun. It was fun. I mean, I worked on it with one of my close collaborators and friend, T-Ron Thomas. He's an incredible writer, and his energy that he brought to that room, and Jay Cash too, I gotta shout him out too. They really brought the lyrics with that one, and that was just, it was fun. I mean, we cut the demo, T-Ron was on it, and then once I heard Usher cut it, I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, insane, man.
Yeah, and I love Juicy J. I'm a big fan of just like 3-6 Mafia from way in the, you know. And,
Like, did you
know.
bring him into these projects? Because now I'm thinking about like Dark Horse with
Right.
Juicy J as well. So like he seems to be around when you're in the studio.
I didn't personally hit him up, but he found his way in there somehow. I mean, yeah.
I love that, man.
Right.
And then if you had to do I Don't Mind, Usher, or Wrecking Ball, Miley Cyrus.
Ooh.
Like, come on,
I
man.
might have to go with Wrecking Ball on that one. Yeah.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
And I mean, what a big song for her and her career at the time. Like,
Yes.
how was it to be in the studio with her when she was kind of at that point doing like a lot of rap, hip hop? She was in that
Yeah.
whole bag, but then Wrecking Ball is like a complete left turn from that.
Yeah, that was really cool. I loved working with Miley. She was just, I just remember how like professional she was in the studio. She was like, yep, I love this song, we're doing it, we're gonna, like, she cut all the vocals in like a few hours, like she really just sang her heart out and like really nailed it. And I remember recording her and being like, whoa, she has such an amazing tone, and the way she sold that song is just like, I heard it actually come on the other day and I was like, damn, it still hits. Like, yeah.
That's gotta be so cool to just like hear your own songs out in the
Yeah.
wild and be like, oh yeah, I did, I worked on that.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And then like Wrecking Ball, Miley Cyrus, Hold Me Closer, Elton John and Britney Spears.
Ooh.
Hold me closer, time to dance.
I gotta keep going with the, because I want to tell a story about the next one, so I don't want to just.
Yeah, I mean, well, please tell me all the
Nah,
stories.
man.
Hold Me Closer is so good, man.
Yeah,
And like
thank
her
you.
vocals on that song, the way you guys used the Elton's like original song and like created something so new and different, but still like iconic. Like, talk to me about it.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Elton for a long time and his music, and it kind of came through my mom, actually. My mom was like a big fan of Elton, so when I worked with him, I was proud to say, hey, my mom, guess what? I worked with Elton John. She was like,
That's
oh my
so
God.
cool.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of his, and you know, I met with him with Andrew Watt. He brought me into it. They had worked a lot before, and Elton kind of just gave us free carte blanche to like, which song do you want to do? Like, it was his idea to do this. It was his idea to do like, you know, this kind of collaboration, but he was very collaborative in terms of like, which parts, you know, just take any parts from any song and put it together. And you know, it's his idea to flip Tiny Dancer, and then we sort of like put a few different parts and instrumentals in there and kind of mashed it up and made a remix. And then Britney got on it, and I wasn't there when Britney did her vocals, but it was awesome. I love it.
I want to actually ask you this one. So, Hold Me Closer or Unholy by Sam Smith and Kim Petras.
You know, I can't pick favorite. I mean,
You're like, well, now I got to talk about
Now I
Kim
got-
Petras and Sam. That's my
I'm
goal
not just gonna
here.
say,
now you get
hold
my
me closer,
job.
and then like not talk about. No, I mean,
And honestly, I look at Kim as like Britney's daughter. Like, I think about
Yes.
the way that they approach songs and their voices and how they use their voices in dance pop music, and I'm like, they're very similar in a lot of ways. So talk to
Yeah.
me about Kim and her approach with like being in the studio and being with a monster like Sam Smith.
yeah.
When you want it, baby, I know I got you covered.
It was incredible working with Sam. I'd been such a huge fan for a long time. And if you would have asked me, like, what kind of song do you think you're going to make with Sam Smith, I didn't think it was going to sound like Unholy. That was my last. It's very different from what Sam has done in the past. At first, it was no one really knew what to think. We knew it was sick, like, this is really cool, it's very different, but we couldn't have expected it to be the hit that it was. I mean, sometimes you just don't know. Yeah, it was Sam's idea, actually, to get Kim on it. And I was so happy that Sam suggested that, because I had worked with Kim from way back on some of her earlier stuff. Always been a just big supporter and fan of hers. I think that she deserves like the spotlight. Yeah, it was such a cool moment. Yeah, and their Grammy moment was incredible too. I mean,
And then here we are at the Grammys again. I have to ask you, like, APT, like I said, being such a iconic moment for her and her career, and this big Grammys, one of the biggest songs on Billboard's the end of the year chart. Right. What song do you feel like you have that you want to get that kind of, accolades?
You never know what's going to really rise to the top and what's going to connect with people, so it's hard to really, it's hard to go back and predict that. But I remember someone asked me the question one time in an interview. They were like, what's the key to getting a song in the record of the year and song? And I said if I knew the answer, I'd do it every day.
He'd be like, every year I would be nominated for record of the year.
But when I go in the studio, I'm not thinking like, okay, today we're gonna make a record of the year song. We're gonna make a song of the year. Like, obviously we want to do our best every time, but sometimes you have to leave it up to the fans and the listeners. Sometimes amazing things happen like this year. So.
Well, listen, congrats on everything you got going on. I hope to see you up there on that stage, man.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for hanging out.